When I was 3 years old, I was in the Netherlands for the first time. That's at least what my parents told me because I can't remember anything. They also told me that they were in Amsterdam and they were heading in the wrong direction when they suddenly stood in that street where the ladies are behind the window. 5 years ago, I was in the Netherlands again, and now, of course, I could consciously absorb everything. What struck me the most was the difference with the Germans. I know your Eastern neighbors because my parents were born there and I've lived there for a while. I think that perhaps the Dutch are generally funny and the Germans are generally not so. My first time in Den Haag was December last year. It was a cold and a bit wet, dark winter's day. We went out to explore the city. We ended up walking for 4 hours, and I thought that maybe Den Haag was primarily a rainy government town. But now, I notice the friendliness and the strangers just talking to each other on the tram. I've been to 45 countries around the world, and you hardly ever see that in Europe. I came a few days ago to provide training for an international organization. I'm a communications specialist. I can't say specialist, though. A specialist who has her own company. Now, I'm more focused on meeting people with different backgrounds. And I heard, for example, that the Surinamese live here. And I think it's fascinating because I've never met anyone from that country. And there's so many living here. In the recent days, I've only eaten Surinamese food, and I think it's the best thing I've ever had. It's a hard word to say. They look a lot like Brazilians, because I understand that Suriname is neighbor of Brazil. If I could say anything to anyone who wanted to visit Canada, I would let the people of Den Haag know and meet the people of my city, and Canadians in general. Canadians are very friendly and tolerant. Sometimes they're also a bit naive. They don't know much about world politics or don't know the difference between a Polish person and a German in detail. They have kind of a childish friendliness. That's why they think it's almost insulting when they're called Americans. Thanks. Welcome to Den Haag.